day. It's definitely not by our might or by our power. It's just by God's grace and His mercy and His strength. Welcome, Faith family, to a Walk with God show. My name is Miranda, and I'm going to be your host for today. So the last time I saw you guys was, I think, on the 25th, right, when we talked about Christmas, and I hope you all had a very awesome and amazing new year. It's been 8 days into the new year. It has definitely been going well for me. I hope it has been going well for you too. If it's not too late, Happy New Year to you all. I wish you all a successful, healthy, prosperous new year. And I hope that this year you will make God the center of everything you do. So, this month of January, we're going to talk about time management. I know a lot of you made your New Year resolutions, and you guys have some goals and achievements that you want to complete or reach by the end of this year. And the way that time is literally like running, you definitely don't want to be stuck behind time. So, going to bring here panelists, that have knowledge and successful stories about time management so we can learn from them, because me, I'm not so great when it comes to time management. From last year up to now, it has definitely been better, but I still need to work on it. So that's why we are here. So if you're not great on it as well, my college students and high school students, you are welcome. Just stay on and watch with us. If you have any questions, please feel free to text it in the comment section. I will be reading them from time to time. So I will not waste much time. All thanks to FBN management team for making this show possible. Please support just by sharing. It's free. Share this with your friends and family so they can join. Follow the page if you haven't already, and be part of this beautiful family. So, like I said, it's time management for this whole month, and we're going to start with some intro questions for this episode. I'm not here alone today. I'm here with Deacon Harrison, Deacon Nana Harrison, and Pastor Frank Darko. You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Miranda, for having us.
Okay, I'm not used to this technology stuff. You guys know, just my AirPods. So I'm sorry if you see me fixing it a lot. Okay. Okay. So how are we all doing today?
Great, by God's grace.
Okay, I'm glad to
I
hear
am
that.
doing
Um, so just to set up the stage and everything in terms of everything that happened last year, the whole year of 2021. I know everyone is like so quick to like put it back, but I just wanted to take 1 minute of your time to ask you this. Now, would you say you had a productive or successful 2021? And Deacon Harrison, you can start with us.
Yeah, thank you, Miranda. Thank you to the Walk with God show producers and production team for having me on. I guess that's your first production for the year.
Yes.
Um, so we are blessed to be here to kind of open up the year. And Happy New Year to all our viewers. We hope that at least this year our heart desires and resolutions will come to pass according to God's perfect will for us. Um, so, to your question, 2021 for me, yes, was very productive. Um, I was able to accomplish a lot of things that I didn't even think were possible. And I know that it is all by the grace of God. So for me, 2021 was a good year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to hear that. Pastor Frank.
Okay. All right. Thank you for having me today. And also, I want to say Happy New Year to the viewers, to you, and also to Pastor Harrison. God richly bless you for your time, and also for the Working with God crew for putting this together. Happy New Year to you all. I would say that last year was a very productive year. Um, Again, there were a lot of things that I was able to achieve. There were a lot of things that I couldn't. But there is this statement that I always say, and that is, I always thank God that even though I am not where I want to be, I am not where I used to be. So, it was a very productive year. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Um, Viewers, you can also share your what you think about your year 2021. I think mine was kind of productive too. I mean, school is definitely my focus right now, and everything has been going great so far. So yeah, I thank God. And oh my gosh, you guys, I've been so scared of driving. So, I've been postponing all these stuff that you need to get to drive by. This week, on Monday, I told myself that by the end of this week, I'm going to get my permit. And guess who got her permit? Me. So, congratulations to me. I saw this post that was like, if you're waiting to be ready, you will never be ready. So, just get up and do it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to get up and do it. And I did it. So, first step, very soon we're going to be driving. I know Deacon Harrison will get me a car soon, so yes, I can't wait. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your time management level? Pastor Frank.
Oh wow. I would say 6, 7. And that again, that is because I think that there are a lot of flaws in my time management.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm terrible. It just means that I try to do better. And I always try to, make use of the time that I have. So I would say 6, 7. Um, yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear you said on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your number? 6?
Yeah, I would say let's say 7. Because 6
6
are
or
terrible.
7?
So 7.
7. Okay,
Yeah,
7
7.
is still a pass
Mm-hmm.
mark, so I'll take that. I'll take
Mm.
that. Okay. So, gonna take a quick 1 minute break, and we'll be right back, guys. We have to fix something real quick.
Machonye gbe aji machonye ji machonye nuse awado nambawu esiayi machonye gbe aji machonye ji machonye nuse awado nambawu esiayi for my way, they wanna make my chonye nu say I want for my way, oh my chonye nu say I want na mawu esiayi. For my way, oh, machonye mi say I want
Alrighty. Sorry about that, viewers. Yeah, I had to fix my headset or headphones. Okay, so Pastor Frank said he will rate his time management level on a scale of 7. I think I was thinking about it, and then I'll give me a 6.5 too, because like I told you guys, I'm not so great at it, but I'm working on it. Okay, Deacon Harrison.
Yeah, I'll be bold with this one. Maybe at least an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you describe time management? So talk about time management. What is it that is so important that we had to know? Deacon Harrison, you can
go. Okay. So I mean, time management is a big thing, and I would want to think of it as like it is first of all a process. So the process that we go through in trying to plan and allocate our time to the activities that we have to do, that is time management. So management is all about kind of the effective allocation and utilization of resources. So if we are treating time as a resource, then managing our time is simply how we are able to organize our activities based on the time that we have available. And so, yeah, that is basically, or simply put, how I would describe time management.
Okay, thank you. Managing our time based on our activities. Okay. Pastor Frank.
I think Deacon Harrison has well explained time management. A little that I'll add to it is, it is a skill that, we acquire. We acquire from, training ourselves. It is the skill of effectively using your time to produce something. So nobody's born with knowing how to manage their time, but the same way we acquire skills as in designing, skills as in even um, skills as in reading, this another skill that we need to develop. So it is a way that we use our time. It is a way that we effectively allocate time for every activity, so that we don't either spend more time doing something, or we don't spend less time doing something that needs more time to be done.
Okay, thank you for that. Auntie Renee is here. Auntie Renee, you're welcome. I don't know why she's laughing at Deacon Harrison. Okay, I'm not gonna say Deacon again. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Harrison, because it looks like Auntie Renee has a problem with it. Okay, so in general, who would you say would have problems with time management? Like, which people can you think of? I'll start with Mr. Harrison.
Okay. Generally, there are a number of people who would have problems with time management. I think the very first type of people would be like the busy bee. Like, I know it's a popular term. Like people who are always like so busy doing something. Usually those people waste time. The reason why I say that is, you see, time management is not necessarily about getting certain little things done, but it's about efficiency and effectiveness. So it's not necessarily about how many things you do, but it's about the result. How many things you are able to accomplish. And a lot of times, a lot of busybodies end up accomplishing nothing. And so that is the first category of people who really waste time. And then the second category would be the kind of people who do not necessarily have like a plan or a goal. So it's like they live a day at a time. It's like waiting for, some people call them fire extinguishers. They are living kind of in the moment, waiting for the next fire so that they will extinguish that. Usually people who do not necessarily have a plan that they are executing. Okay, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to do it. Usually those people tend to waste a lot of time, because then you don't know, if you don't know your destination, everything or every place becomes your destination. And so people like that would also waste a lot of time. It's not only about knowing what you want to do, but how are you getting there? So if you don't know, if you don't have these, at least these plans down, you are going to waste a lot of time. I also talk about social animals, people who are, I don't know, small talks every now and then. You know, there are a lot of people who are so social, and by that they tend to get less done, because a lot of times you're doing this, there is a call, like this person is coming in, and a lot of times, excuse me, a lot of the things they bring or come to talk about are not important or necessary. But because in our nature, like usually sanguines, want to, like that's just who they are. So they always need to be around people. Usually you get very little done if you are that kind of person, because people take time. So one thing you would think, oh, there's just a 5 minute conversation. By the time you realize it's an hour and your whole day is gone. So social animals. And then another group of people are the people who just want to check things off their checklist. So you see, there are people who think that because they want to be effective, so they put down a checklist. I need to do A, B, C, and D. And what they end up doing is they try to do the easy stuff on the checklist so that they can cross them out. And then it will look as if they've been able to accomplish something that day. If you are that kind of person, you would also waste a lot of time, because your goal is not like trying to get the most important things done, but it's like making sure that you have been able to cross a lot of things off your checklist. The checklist is not the most important thing. It's about the result at the end of the day. That's what time management is all about: efficiency and effectiveness. So if you use your time doing a lot of little things, crossing all of them out, and then there are the big things you could not achieve them, you are a time waster. So let's be careful when we are making checklists. The kind of things we are putting in there should be very important. The big things, and not necessarily like, okay, so I need to brush my teeth, it's on your checklist. I need to eat breakfast, it's on your checklist. I have to call this person, I have to respond to this. Like some of those things that are not actually work, they can wait, so that like the big things can be done, so that you know that even if you were not able to do anything at all, you were able to achieve certain blocks of things. That's another category of people who would waste time. I think I have a couple more, but for Pastor Frank, at least, so that he can also say some. I'll leave some. Um, all right.
Yeah, please leave some because you are just piercing my heart left. Okay. Pastor Frank, in general, what are
Yeah.
some people that you would say these people will be bad at time management or would have problem with time management?
Yes. I also think that, when you don't have a vision or you don't know your purpose yet in life, you are going to waste a lot of time, because as Deacon Harrison said, I don't know if I should say Deacon, Minister, Pastor, I don't know, but as he said, when you don't know your destination, it becomes very difficult for you to, make use of the time you have. It's like when you wake up and you have no destination, you sit in your car. Guess what? You will just be driving around. That is fine if you don't have any destination or you don't want to achieve anything. But if you want to achieve something, just driving around will not bring anything, it will not bring any benefit to you. I also think that people that want to just impress other people, so they will just take a challenge so that they will just be able to impress other people. In other words, what people say about them is so important to them. It will lead you into just wasting time because you will not be able to attack the things that are very, very important to you. And I'm going to say this. Also, people that don't know how to say no. Now, that is, this is very weird because we think that sometimes we take too many things because we don't have the strength to say no to certain things. We end up just not having a good management of time. Because I always say that, it is much easier to say no than to call the person some days later and have to make an excuse or sometimes even lie just to get yourself out of that situation. So it is very important that you learn how to say no. Also, it is also very important for you to know what you are good at. The skills that you develop in secret are the skills that you're supposed to show outside, so you don't just enter into any, for example, you don't get onto um, a meeting or you don't get into let's say there is an organization, there is an opportunity, don't get into it just because it is a good opportunity, but that that is something that you've developed in your secret place, and you will be able to execute whatever is being asked of you. So a lot of people that do not know what you're good at, they don't really challenge themselves, they don't find themselves, they find it very difficult to use their time appropriately. Also, I would say that people that don't know how to write or think on paper also waste a lot of time because, as Minister Harrison said, it's like they're living in the moment. Okay, they will make things up. And for a very long time, I used to do that. Even when it comes to teaching, preaching, ministry, you would you become a victim of the people that think that they are able to operate spontaneously, but that is very, very dangerous. It will cause you into preaching longer than you're supposed to, or preaching less than you're supposed to. So it's very important for you to start thinking or planning on paper. Yes. So those are the people I would say waste a lot of time.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely agree, especially the people who don't know how to say no, because I've personally like met a friend that like she just fits that category. So I just send the link to her. I'm like, come and watch this because you need to hear this. She says to herself like she doesn't know how to say no to people, and she's always going around but not focusing on what she's supposed to do. I think it's a very big thing that we need to look at. Also, Auntie Renee says she likes your costume. I didn't even see it. Your custom made sweater. It's really cute. If you can share the details, Pastor Frank.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, moving on, do you think that technology has affected the way we manage our time, or technology has affected our time management skills? Um, Pastor Frank, you can go first.
Definitely. I think technology had a huge impact on everything we do when it comes to self-development, when it comes to school, everything around us has been affected by technology. Now, what we need to really weigh is the positive and the negative side of it. Um, I think that you as a person have to really use the technology to your advantage. In a way, it can cause you to waste a lot of time because of social media. It seems every single day there is a new app coming out, there is a new social media platform coming up, and it is so random that you will find yourself, you wake up in the morning, you check TikTok, you go to YouTube, you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, and before you realize, you've used, your time, the time is gone, right? But at the same time, think about it, right? If we didn't have technology, how do we move from one point to one point in a short possible time, right? We are able to communicate faster, easier, and effectively through social media. So technology has had a huge impact on us. It is our responsibility to make sure that the tool that has been given to us is being used for our benefit rather than just destroying us. So that is why we need to know how to manage our time. We need to have the skill so that whenever we are put in that environment of of using technology, of social media, we still have this mindset that, am I using my time effectively on this platform, or the platform is using me? There is something that this morning when I woke up, something came to me, and it was just a random quote that came into my mind, and it was that, it's either you are using time or time is using you. All right. So in the same way, it's either technology is using you or you are using technology. So I would say that it has had a huge impact on us when it comes to
Yes,
time management.
yes,
Yes.
I definitely agree. Mr. Harrison, what do you think?
Okay. So like Pastor Frank said, technology definitely has its good and bad side. Um, I think that the problem is not technology, the problem is people. Because there were people when we were younger and technology was not as developed as now, they were still finding ways to waste their time. Um, they would, yeah,
Oh my God.
you, we know all these. And so if you are that kind of person, then technology will be your worst enemy. Um, I feel that there are a lot of people, personally, technology helps me a lot, like to be very productive. I don't think we can have this discussion if not for technology. So it helps a lot. It can really help you to manage your time if you really want to. Um, because, like, for example, things like Siri, Google Assistant, even Cortana can help you to plan your day, like schedule your meetings for you and all those things. So sometimes it can take little things off your plate. But unfortunately, the generation in which we are, I don't know if it is just that, people by nature, we are lazy. And I think that tends to affect us a lot in the way and manner we use technology. Because right now, the biggest time waster in our time is technology, especially social platforms. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever, mention all of them. And I feel that, you know, so I used to have Snapchat. I deleted it. There are a couple of apps that I deleted. Now the only ones I have are Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And then as for YouTube, we can't do without YouTube. Um, and then maybe WhatsApp. But those of you who are my friends on WhatsApp, I usually would come there like once a week. to check who has sent me a message. Because come on, I can receive like 300 messages a day on WhatsApp. So what do you want me to do? Use all my time on WhatsApp. So that's basically, so I tell the people very close to me, if you have something very urgent that you need me to respond to, text me, use SMS. Don't send it on WhatsApp because I'll see it next week. And I feel a lot of us get caught up in that. And the whole thing about, what do you call it? Social approval and all those things. We are looking for likes and comments. So we put, what do you call it, status, how many people came to view. Every second you are going to check. I don't remember the last time I posted a status. And I don't watch status because it's a waste of time. We know you are beautiful. You bought a new dress, so what? Like, how does that relate to me? I feel that these are the things that make technology become a snare to us because we cannot consciously know or weed out certain things and then know the things in technology that we can prioritize. I'm not saying they are all wrong. Like a program like what we are doing is definitely beneficial, that people, you would want to go on Facebook to watch. But I mean, when you are done watching Walk with God, you don't have to spend the whole day sitting on social media, on Facebook or YouTube, doing whatever, like, because it adds nothing to you, unless maybe you are studying something, you are learning something on YouTube, because I know there are a lot of educational things that are posted on there. But if you are just out there to laugh and those things, they are good. I always say that. But you know, some people I know, sometimes it's sad. Like, and sorry, my wife, for example. Like sometimes I'll just be mad at her for like, I'm like, seriously, is that the best way you can use your time? Because she'll be like, oh, let me do A, B, C, and D, and then she'll pick her phone. Oh, by the time you realize I'm doing something on my computer, the next hour I turn and she's still on the phone. I'm like, come on, you don't have anything to do with your life than to sit on the phone. So I mean, sometimes these things are distractions. I remember when my friend Eugene told me that he really admired the fact that the moment when we go to church, he would never see my phone. There are people who like, oh, let me take my Bible is on my phone and all those things. Charlie, you can't deceive me. I'd rather use a tablet that I haven't synced with any social media platform or is not even connected to Wi-Fi as I'm sitting in the church so that I can concentrate. There is a lot of things, and a lot of us feel we can multitask. And that is also one group of people who waste a lot of time. People who think that they can do so many things at the same time. You will get nothing done. It's better to focus on one thing, get it done, and then go pick another thing and then do it. The only thing you can multitask is if you are cooking for the week. That one we know. Ghana food, one food will take 5 hours. So you can combine all of them and then be cooking them at the same time. At least they share the same ingredients. But if you are not cooking, please don't bother yourself thinking that you are multitasking. And that's where technology comes in. Now Samsung and those people have made it possible. You can have double screens and all those, and something will be hovering somewhere. By the time you realize, you've done nothing. So we need to be careful. And also series. Yeah, it's also one time waster, because if you are like somebody who really wants to get things done, I want to see the end, like what is going to happen. So by the time you realize, you've sat down like the whole night and it's morning, you were just watching series. Like, so I mean, we need to be careful how technology would not use us, but then we would use it. So being more productive than just like kind of randomly doing things on social media and those kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So sorry, Auntie Renee. I knew you just had to come up. We kind of had this discussion before. And oh my gosh, Mr. Harrison he is not a big fan of social. But 300 messages a day, hey, how? From who?
A lot of people.
That's a lot.
A lot of people, yeah. And sometimes too, you are on some page, you don't want to leave because you'll be rude, and I'll just mute the whole thing. Like, so I don't get Instagram notifications. I don't get even my Twitter notifications. I turn them off. Like, I think the only notifications that I get are I think Facebook, because sometimes I want to monitor what is going on with FBN. But if it's not related to FBN, come on, I'm not interested. I can't be bothered. So yeah, so that every minute I won't have to go and pick my phone. Okay, what was that notification about, and those things. So yeah, whenever I get a time, if it's Facebook time, the next 1 hour, I'll go and see all the important things on Facebook. Leave. When you catch me again, it's either I'm talking here or maybe something else. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you. But if you have that many people on WhatsApp, you could be sharing the FBN links over there, because that's views too. At
You
least
see,
you
I
know.
get it. I get you. I get you. But the point too is, my contact list, I don't know the number. Like over 2,000 people in my contact list. And sometimes it can be exhausting. And the problem, that's why I don't hide my visibility on WhatsApp. So that when you come and text me and I have not replied, you won't think that, oh, this person is fond of this. And you see, things are reciprocal on social media. It's like, if you want me to do this, I also expect you to do that. So I won't expect you to do something for me that I'm not willing to do for you. Yeah, so I won't come and watch your status. So I won't post. Yeah, that is like, otherwise I'll become selfish in just trying to get you to come and watch my status, and I am not coming to watch yours. That's why I won't post at all, so that there will be fairness. Yeah.
I get it. Okay. So I think we touched on this a little. We can't talk about time management without prioritization. So we have already established the fact that it's important, but how do we prioritize? Start with Pastor Frank.
Okay, so it has to do with you knowing the end goal. What do you want to achieve? So, for example, in a day, what is the thing that you want to achieve in that day? Okay. So as Mr. Harrison said, you wake up in the morning, you say, okay, on my list, I brushed my teeth. I did this, I did that. That is not really a major goal, right? That is not something that you are working to do. That is something that you do anyways. All right. So you need to find out what is the goal. And usually those are the things that you don't feel comfortable doing. Those are the things that you don't get any enjoyment from doing. Those are the things that you look at, you're like, nah, not today, right? But in order to prioritize, those are the things that you need to go for. So you have a plan. I know we are not talking about planning today, but you need to have a plan, and you need to start writing down, how am I going to execute this plan. You need to also find out, you need to give that thing a time frame. Okay, how much time am I going to allocate for this particular task? Because if you don't do that, you did nothing. Okay, you can plan, but you don't put a time frame to what you want to do. What you find yourself doing is that, as I said early on, you might spend more time doing something that doesn't really much time to be done. So you need to find out what is the most important thing. Okay, so you write it down, and usually what I do is that you write that thing down, and as you keep writing there on your scale of preference, the lower you go, the lesser important it is. So clearly there are certain things that you can just cross out from the bottom. And when you find yourself in the day doing the things on the, on the down part on your list, you realize that you're not really using your time effectively. And that is another thing about time, management. That is, you need to go back and always look at whatever you've written. I tell people that it is better for you to, place your plan or your list at a place that you can see it. On your phone, you need to probably find a way that you get this notification, that you keep seeing this thing. Oh, you need to do this task. It doesn't matter how annoying it is important for you. All right. I always say this, that people that are annoying in your life, they are very, very important to you, because they are going to challenge you. They are going to tell you what you need to do. They are going to tell the things that you don't want to hear. And those are the people that usually are annoying to you, all right? Because they will bring up topics that you don't want to talk about, that you feel uncomfortable. And that is the way to get yourself, prioritizing certain things, okay? Because one thing about people is that the more, even the Bible does that, when you read the scripture, the things that are very important, the Bible will kind of keep repeating it over and over again. And you keep asking yourself, why is the Bible, kind of repeating itself? No, it is because that thing is very, 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 very important. So it is very important for you to find a way. There are so many ways that you can, keep reminding yourself on what is important in the day. So one of the things I tell people is that when you wake up in the day, it is better for you to wake up earlier, or plan your day before the next day. In other words, for today, you plan your day yesterday. Just for example, yesterday I was so tired, and so I said, okay, I know I'm going on FBN and we are going to have this discussion, so I need to prepare myself. All right. And I said, well, the meeting's at 12:30. So when I wake up in the morning, I can, prepare, do one or two things and, prepare myself for the meeting. Then I said to myself, well, if I do that, I go against, how I operate myself. I operate better when I set up my day a day before, the next day. So in other words, I can come on here, I can say whatever I have to say, but I might not be effective. Why? Because I did something that was out of the way I see myself being very, very effective. So in order for you to prioritize certain things, it is important for you to realize how important that thing is to you. What is the benefits you get from that? Okay. So now, a lot of people have this feeling that they have, when for example, when you watch a movie, there is an emotion attached to it, right? And that's why people watch it. If it is not enjoyable, people will not watch it, right? I like watching, soccer games, and it's different when the game is done and you know the score and you're watching it again. There is a different feeling to it, all right? There is some kind of feeling that you have when you are watching it live. But at the end of the day, what do you achieve? It was just a feeling, it was just an emotion that you will never even remember that emotion anymore. Or sometimes you remember it, but it will bring no benefit to you. So in other words, you need to look at the long term. When you are prioritizing something, what is the long term? What is the long term effects of this? All right. So if I spend 2 hours watching a soccer game, what benefit am I going to get after that 2 hours that I spent in doing this particular activity? On the other hand, if I spend 2 hours, let me go to school studying, what is the long-term effect? Well, you'll be able to pass your exam. Maybe you'll be able to cover topics that were not even covered in class. You put yourself, ahead of other people. And that is how you prioritize. It's very, very easy, but very difficult to execute. There's a lot of discipline that is needed for you to keep telling yourself, keep reminding yourself that this is the important thing and this must be done. There will be a lot of distractions that will come in your way, but it is very important for you to keep reminding yourself that this is not important. There is something I always say, and that is deferred gratification. if you are able to, defer the gratification that you have, the feeling you have, you become such a powerful person. It is not just about you knowing how to manage your time. As a matter of fact, a man or a woman that knows how to manage their time is very, very powerful anyways, right? People just respect them because it is a skill that they possess that is very hard to actually, acquire. So if you learn how to defer gratification, one thing I realized about my friends is that they respect me, usually not because of what I say, but because of how I'm able to say I'm not going. And because of that, they are like, wow, why are you like this, right? Why are you this way? And I think it is a very important thing for you to have if you are trying to prioritize certain things. There are a lot of people that will come. I tell people, if you don't prioritize your day, you will prioritize somebody else. So because you have not prioritized or said the thing that is important to you, you'll find yourself doing things for other people or doing other things that are not that important. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So
Yep.
there are people that will call you, oh, can you do this for me? Right? But because you don't have a plan for your day, you end up being always available for people. Now, there is nothing wrong being available. And because of time, I'm not going to talk too much about this. The concept of our availability is very, very strange because on one hand, we need to be available to people, but at the other end, we need to be very careful how available we are because there could be the reason why you are available could be because you are doing nothing, and that is why you are always available for people. So set your priorities, write them down, have a plan. Keep reminding yourself. Find a way that whatever thing that you have written down, you will keep seeing it. And see, it's like when you go to church and you put down your notes after, when the man of God is preaching and you put down your notes. There are a lot of people that don't go back and revisit that notes. So there are a lot of people that the whole year will go by and they don't even open that notes anymore. And it's not their fault. It's just that there are so many other messages coming to you. There are so many things that needs to be done. So you have to find a way that note or whatever thing that you have written down will come back to you. Okay? Because the mind, although it's a powerful tool, is not that great when it comes to bringing things to you, as in reminding you of what you need to do. All right. So it's very, very important for you to, kind of prioritize whatever is important to you, write them down, how important they are, how am I going to execute this, and what are the benefits I will get when I'm able to execute this.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Frank. I like that your friends respect your decision when you, not respect your decision, but respect
Some of them
you,
don't, but yeah.
But my friends, no. I remember the last time we were about to write exams, and it was on Tuesday. I had work on Friday, so when I closed from work, one of my friends, they were like performing or having like a program that people go attend. But I had told them that I'm not coming from like maybe a month or 3 weeks earlier because I know that when I come back from work, I had to listen to some lectures before Saturday morning and probably do like a meal prep for the whole exam week because I'm not going to be available before I go to bed. And there was this one friend who came and texted me like, can we go? And I'm like, no. She's like, oh, you never go anywhere with me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I have stuff to do. And Nipana, like the person who was even like doing the program, he already understood I'm not coming. So you're not going to force me to come because I'm going to come later on. Yeah, you're going to be happy. And then I'm going to lose or regret that I spent like 3 hours that I could maybe use to do the things that I had already set up for. So yeah, I didn't go. So I feel like sometimes it's really important that we stand our grounds. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Harris.
Well, I agree with Pastor Frank. I think what I would add or maybe re-echo is prioritization is basically about learning to say no to things, to people that will waste your time. So my wife knows that my default setting is no. And then, and then yeah, when you explain yourself and it makes sense, then maybe we come to a maybe or
Maybe.
a yes. Because I mean, we need to understand we can't please everybody, no matter what. And that's usually the problem we find ourselves in. If I'm not available, I'm not available. It's not like you have to try and squeeze and all those things. Like when was it Judas who told Jesus that they could have sold this perfume and used it, and he said, the poor and the needy, you will always have them. There will always be somebody to help. So but the problem is when you really get into a situation where you could have helped somebody or a group of people, but you can't because you failed to say no to certain people at first. So we have to always make sure and understand that if you are my friend, come on, this is not the only one time you will need my help.
Yeah.
So if there's one time I'm not available, I'm not available. So we need to understand that it is okay to say no. And I think it's a cultural thing. You know, maybe it's the African community thing. Because we are known for time wasting, we feel that when I come and tell Miranda, oh, can you accompany me to this place? And Miranda says no, she's mean. But for us, even professionally, we are trained that even if you are sending an email to request something from somebody, you need to precede it with, or it's okay if you will not be able to, so that they don't feel like they owe you that thing, because everybody has something to do. So first of all, if you can never prioritize if you don't know how to say no, because prioritization simply means certain things, no to them. And so if you can't say no, you can prioritize. It's as simple as that. Prioritization equal to no to distractions. And so we need to be mindful of that. Personally, you also need to understand where you are most effective at, the kind of environment that you'll be most productive. So the people around me know that I hardly go to my office. I prefer to work from my home than to go to the office. For some other people, because they are not disciplined, they can't stay at home to work because there is a TV, there is this, but not me. It will be sitting there, I will ignore it and work. The reason is because usually I find that when I'm in the work, like in the office, yeah, there this person comes, hey Harrison, hey this, hey that, hey that, hey that. So usually the times I go to campus, when I have to teach, when I'm not teaching, or unless there's some maybe very important meeting over there, I just come back home. So a lot of times I'm home and I'm working. So that the environment would also help you to be able to prioritize. Know the kind of environment. People who do, okay, these are my friends, let's go and study together. Come on. We know how that ends. The studying will be 30 minutes and then 3 hours will be discussing, hey, have you seen this? So like beware of the environment that will waste your time, and then don't get yourself in there. There are some people, when they call me, I won't answer, not because I'm afraid of them, because I know what they are going to ask me or going to talk about, and I'll rather wait and call them later. So knowing these things, identifying the things that will waste your time, the environments that will not make you productive, and then like Pastor Frank said, knowing the most important thing is everybody must have a purpose. And whatever you do, they must all be small steps or baby steps to attaining your goal at the end. So every time you have to ask yourself, this thing that I'm going to do, how will it contribute to my future self? Will future Nana Harrison thank me for doing this? If my future self would not be happy that I did this, then I cannot do. So you need to know where you are going and where you are as a person before you can prioritize. Because if you don't know, like I talked about, you're from Bronx going to let's say Brooklyn, and you don't know which road to use, everybody will make a suggestion. And there are so many ways that will get you there. But there is a faster way, there is a better way. So you need to know where you are going. Otherwise, even when you get there, you won't even know that this is where I was trying to get to in the first place. So identify all these things, cut the things that you don't need, and also be more conscious about things. We tend to take things very lightly. When I married my wife, I realized her default setting is okay. So she would just have a conversation. Oh, can you do this for me? Oh, okay, no problem. And then later she'll be, oh, I didn't remember that I have this to do, that to do, that to do. And then now you have to squeeze and cram things together. So I told her that no, you can't live like this. So you don't promise people anything. Just kind of tell them that you give me some time to think about it. Always ask for that time to think about things. Like, don't be that spontaneous person. So always, like, even my wife, she complains. Sometimes she will ask a question and I'll be quiet. I haven't answered. It would take me a while before I open my mouth to answer. And it's all part of prioritization. If you don't take time to think, you always say things and then you come back and be like, no. I didn't have to say this. And then now you have to go and, like Pastor Frank said, go and make excuses. So think and be more conscious about things before you commit yourself. It's not like the moment you heard this, and not everything is for you. That's another thing. There are certain things they are good. Like, we are Christians. Let's say you go to church. There are certain people, I know they belong to every organization in the church. Like a man, he will be part of women's ministry. They will be part of children's ministry. When everybody is doing their program, they are there. Come on, you are only one person. As much as it is great and awesome to serve God, you can't belong everywhere. And it all comes with thinking and knowing that your ability is finite. No human being can play God. As I'm sitting here, I am not all knowing, all seeing, all capable. It is only God that has that attribute. So I can't be everything to everybody or help out in every situation. I can only do the things that I want to do. For example, that was about 2 weeks ago, Christmas Day. And then, for example, you are there, we have a plan, you have your own plans, and this friend calls you. This an example I'm giving, something that happened. Calls, oh, okay, I needed someone to take me to the airport. And what? You were saying it the night before the morning you are traveling. Come on. Like, in this situation, it's capital N-O. Pick Uber. That's why those apps are there.
Oh.
So yes, no, you see, you need to let people respect your time. And the only way they can do that is for them to know that you operate by principles. And so if you are around me, you know, I can be very funny, I will laugh with you, we'll play. But when it comes to certain principles, when I say no, it is no. So let people know you for that and be able to say no even to yourself. Because the reason why I keep talking about the no, no, no is because of the fact that priority is not about saying yes to things, it's about saying no. Because there are so many things that come, but your ability to say that this one is not very important, so no. Because even God says no to us. If God said yes to every request of us, I believe, Miranda, you would have how many mansions by
Oh my
now?
gosh, 10.
Yes. So we need to understand and learn from that example. Just as it's not everything we go to God and He just gives it to us, means that there are certain things we will not be able to do them. And it's okay for us to say that, no, I will not be able to do this. See, if you claim to be my friend and you are mad at me because I said no about something you wanted me to do for you, then you don't qualify to be my friend in the first place. You don't. Because you only care about what you want me to do, but you don't prioritize my time. And such a person, you're not fit
Oh,
to
what
be in
if
my
what
circle.
if your answer is always no, 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 no?
Oh, it's still up to you. Because I mean, sometimes if you don't say no, people will take you for granted. Miranda, people would always take you for granted. Oh, as for this person, so everything they'll come and call you, and then the annoying part is they won't even give you like a week or 2 weeks notice. Like a day before, they
Sometimes
just
the
call
same
you.
day.
Hey, this, that. Oh no, 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 no. That one, it won't happen unless I have nothing to do. And then also, prioritizing, the best way to prioritize is also setting aside time. And this a very important thing I'm saying. You see, a lot of us feel that for us to be able to become productive, like the whole day, like we have to plan, okay, 7 to 8, I'm doing this, 8 to 9, I'm doing this, 9 to 10, up to 7 p.m. The whole time is occupied. You are a time waster. You haven't prioritized anything. So even doctors, this is what I learned from doctors. In their consulting room, if a doctor needs to work, let's say 8 hours a day, they schedule 75% of the time. So that they give 25% allowance. So that there are certain things you thought you would finish in 30 minutes, but it would extend into 45 minutes.
Yep.
So when you have that 25-minute allowance for yourself, it will help you so that you don't end up like you touch a little of this, okay, it's time, let me move on to the next thing, let me move on to the next thing. Like it helps you to remain like focused. So don't like do back to back, back to back, back to back. Leave some allowance, but that allowance is not for you to like play on
Relax,
social media
chill.
or something, but it's just to make room so that like you don't pack the day with so many things. And there are people who do that like a lot. It's like if it's not an experiment, let's say like for my wife and those scientists, sometimes you have time points. That one, it's different. But if it's regular work, don't do back to back, back to back, back to back, because when you do that, you end up not prioritizing anything. So make sure you have that room or that allowance so that you can focus on the things that are most important. So every request that comes on your table, We have the ones that are outright no, because this one is not important. Okay, this one is important, but it's still not beneficial to me, so it's still no. Okay, this thing is important, but not so beneficial, so maybe you put it in there. And then the ones that are urgent. So you always make sure that you treat the urgent things first, and make sure that those things that are you have marked as urgent need to be done first before you go on to the other things that are not urgent. I believe that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Harrison. Wow. So Auntie also said, so our men of God saying it's bad to help people with our time. That's a question.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. Honestly, as we speak, I think after this show, I have to help someone do something. We do that all the time. But that should be done in your spare time.
Hey.
Okay? Yeah. So this is like my very close friend. He called me yesterday, I think, about something. It was urgent for him. And he was asking, oh, so can he come over? So that I said, no, I can do that tomorrow after 1 p.m. I mean, if it can wait till tomorrow after 1 p.m., I'll be available to help you. But you won't call me in the middle of the day that, oh, this is urgent. I understand it is urgent
What if
for you.
yeah,
But
like
I
it's
also,
an emergency?
oh, if it doesn't involve life and death, nothing is an emergency. The only emergency situation is when life is at stake.
Okay.
If somebody is going to lose their life, then it is an emergency. Like, I think one time I was preaching on Heavenly Dew, and then this person was calling me. They are not used to calling me. So when I saw that call, I knew that no, something must be wrong. That early morning, come on. So I had to quickly finish my sermon. And then I called back, and indeed the person was very sick. I had to go there and then take them to the hospital or something. It wasn't something that needed 911. But so I treat emergency as something that involves life. When somebody's life can be lost, then it's an emergency. But if it is not that,
It can wait.
it's not an emergency. It can be urgent. Come on, if you lose your job, you won't die. Will you?
No.
You won't die. So I don't see the reason why everything has to come to a standstill. The reason why it becomes dangerous is like there are certain people who are notorious for that. You know, they are always demanding or asking you to do A, B, C, D for them. You know, you can't be everything to everybody. You are not God. So let's not try to play God. It's okay to say no. If the thing I can't do it. Imagine you are asking me for $5,000, and if I don't have it, I know people who will go and borrow from somebody else and then come and give to you because you are my friend. Like, why? Oh, you've not seen some before? Oh, okay. Pastor Frank, at least have you heard some before?
I've seen it before, not heard. I've seen it before.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 So
I mean,
sometimes
unless
it
it's
can
an
get really bad.
emergency, I feel like then maybe it's like
If it involves life and death, it's an emergency.
and you
But
don't
you
have
see,
it,
that's
you
how
borrow
we
for your
need to
friend.
treat emergency. In this America we are living, when can you call 911?
When you're in an emergency, like you're having a
What
heart
is that
attack, or
emergency?
like people are coming into your house to attack you, something like that. So life, yeah.
Yes. The emergency involves life. So don't call urgent things emergency. If it is an emergency, That's why we have your emergency contact information. It means that when something is happening to you, when you are dying, who should we contact? Not when you are losing your job. Like, who cares? Will your employer pick your emergency contact information and call them that, hey, this person is misbehaving at work, so talk to them? They won't, because it's not an emergency, as urgent as it may be. So let's not mix the term emergency and urgency. Is that okay? If nobody is going to die, don't worry yourself. Even human beings die. So, like, the point is, it's okay to say no, especially if there are other things that need to be done, because everything is equally important.
Period. Oh my God, Miss Mr. Harrison, no, he don't play. He
No,
don't
no,
play.
I don't play.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. You do make a point. You do make a point. Mel Addison said, "Wow, powerful submission, man of God. Thank you, woman of God, for watching with us today." Okay, so because of our time, um, we are gonna end this show like right now. I know you guys have a lot to process because a lot have been said, and it's not a joke, even though some of the things were funny. But you need to sit down and really analyze. It's not too late. It's only the 8th of January, 2022. 365 minus 8, we have like 8 days more to manage your time properly, manage your time wisely, using your time to the best way you can, so that we can also say, oh, we had a productive year. Okay, so any last words you'd want to say before we close this episode for today?
Well, what I would just say as a closing statement is time management is a skill, and uh, it's what you do with that skill. You can have the skill, but you might not be able to execute it very, very well. So, as Mr. Harrison was saying, there are things that people call you that might be an emergency, but because you're very good in that skill, you know that, okay, if I'm helping this person, it's taking time out of, it's taking something needs to be exchanged, all right? And that is when you know how to deal with that skill. You know what you are doing. It's not that you always want to be there for people and you are the only one everybody's calling for an emergency and you are always out there helping people. That's is good, but understand that you are putting yourself behind. And it is very important that you first learn the skill, have the skill down. If you don't know how to manage your time, then you have no business in being the one that everybody's calling for an emergency, right? You should be well, skilled in managing your time so that when somebody will call you as an emergency, you know what to do. Not that you just jump in there and you are lost. Your whole day is gone, right? Your whole day is gone because of somebody's need that you wanted to help out, right? The next day is gonna happen. The next day is gonna happen, and guess what happened? You just give up. You become that person that never learned to build that skill of managing your time. You always keep postponing, and that is another problem with time management. Procrastination is so dangerous. I'm going to develop that skill tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do better. It sound awesome. It sound good, but it had no impact on your life. So I would say that it is a skill that you have it, and it's how you're going to execute that skill. First, get that skill down, and then you'll be surprised how you are able to help people. You ask yourself, why is it that with all my busy schedule, I'm still able to help people? It's because you have learned how to allocate your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Harrison, you only have like less than a minute.
Oh, it's so okay. So, what I want to say is that if we are going to be able to manage our time too, we need to also start learning how to be organized. Being organized is very important. I don't know how I didn't talk about it, you know. Yeah, because some people I know, I won't mention their names. Every day they are looking for something. Where is my this thing? Did you see my this thing? Did you see my that thing? Come on. You see, like, it's the number one time waster. And I used to be like that when I was little. And I realized that no, 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 no. The way my father disciplined me, and I realized, no, there is something fundamentally wrong with this. And I realized the best way to be very effective and efficient is to be organized, putting your things in order. Nothing beats that. I go to work, I come in, I open my door, I know where my car key is going, I know where my wallet is sitting, I know where my headphone is, my laptop where is going, my bag where is going, my shirt. So I know everything where it is supposed to be. If you were like with my father, oh, you will learn. Because he, even after laundry, he will iron everything before he hangs them. So that he won't now come to maybe now I have to go and iron. Like, you see, these are little things that we don't take notice of. And people who are always late for church, that's the kind of thing that happens. They don't even know that mpaboa no cry is dirty, you know. So when you are organized, you have your closet. Like, you don't do laundry and leave it sitting in the laundry basket, like, so that when you have to go to work, now you have to comb through things before you can pick up one dress or one shirt, and then you can now go and, like, you are wasting your time. So from laundry, you come, you hang your things that need to be folded, you fold them, and it makes life so easy. Like, yeah, you don't waste time. You just pick this. I know where this, I know where that. You are not bothered. So I believe that 2022, if you can't do anything at all, try to be organized. I'm begging you. And this one, I have special interest in it. Please, try and be organized.
I can teach you guys.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, so yeah. May we all, God bless us so that we'll have a fruitful 2022 and be more productive.
Amen. 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 We have to talk about organization more next week, because I feel like it's really, really important. Anytime I visit my friends, like, I'm always touching stuff. I'm always putting stuff, because I'm like, how do you guys sit and just put things anywhere, anyhow? It makes me uncomfortable. They said I have like OCD, but whatever that is, I just love my stuff to be really organized.
It's not any OCD, Miranda. Don't mind them. They are just trying to. They rather have a problem. Yeah, because come on, God made us in His image, so we are organized. See how the universe is. That's how we are supposed to be. It's no OCD. Certain things is just the principle. So don't mind them. Sometimes if you listen to them, you end up becoming like them. Stick to your principle and be organized. It will save you a lot of time.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Harrison. Thank you so much, Pastor Frank. You guys are poured. Oh my gosh, today. Thank you. I had a quiz thing that the winner would have got their gas filled, but I know I will see you guys again for this episode, so we will do that another time because we don't have time left. So thank you for all the energy and time you put to prepare for this. I could feel it. And definitely do that next time also, because next time we're going to have a prize for something. So thank you all for watching, the viewers. Thank you for sharing. Those that haven't, thank you, because I know you're going to be doing it right now. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you take something out of what we discussed today. And I will see you guys same time next week.